let me take you on a quick tour of the Bus Fair 2019. Welcome to the Hippie Geeks and our Skoolie conversion Soul the Sun Chaser. If you enjoy this video, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to catch all our new content. We showed up to the Bus Fair 2019 on the Friday before the event as we had a pass to Camp 2 and we wanted to get set up. Friday was freaking miserable. Between the rain and the wind and the cold, we were lucky to get camp set up, make some dinner, and get a game of Scrabble in with the boys before we went to bed. When we woke up on Saturday, the weather had turned into a beautiful early summer day, and we were thrilled to get everything spread out to dry while we got ready to head over to the bus fair. It was held at Green Waters Park in Oakridge, Oregon, and we bought our tickets for it as soon as it was announced. There was no way that we were going to miss out on a Skoolie event that close to the house, and they announced over 20 different buses that would be in attendance. Now, this isn't going to be a super in-depth walkthrough of all the buses and everything in them. It took us just about 5 hours to make our way through all of them and to talk for a few minutes to each person about their build. This was a very popular event and my camera doesn't have a wide-angle setting, so I did the best I could to just get some footage and show you what it was like. Walking into the event started out looking into the main gathering area with a stage, vendors, and food tents. The first buses you see are a group of shorties, with the larger buses further into the event. After looking around for a minute, we headed to the short buses to get started. Quick side note, I will leave links in the description below to each of these buses. If there is something that I have gotten wrong, just let me know and I will correct the links. First up was Cecilia The Short Bus. They had a super cute moped for sale that we seriously considered putting an offer on, but eventually other projects won out and we left it behind. They have a very cute 5-window Shortie with a nearly full-length wood deck on top and a short fixed deck off the back. Inside, they had one of the cutest bed setups that we saw in the entire show. The lifting top on the power station in front of it was a super functional touch, and they even managed to squeeze in a wet bath next to the bed. They had a very functional small kitchen and a couch with storage underneath, and it honestly was our favorite small bus layout. Next up was Bird the Bus, and they had a super cute hand-painted sign next to the bus that we really loved. They had a really intriguing Murphy bed that I didn't get a picture of, but we really liked their kitchen. The wood was beautiful, and the section that set in over the stove was super functional and really expanded their counter space when the stove isn't in use. The next bus did not have a name. The gentleman just happened to know the folks running the show and they asked him to come. His bus had by far the lowest ceiling of the buses at the event, and I actually had to duck to walk in there. Unlike a lot of the buses here, this was a super simple, super functional build. His intent was to be able to get out in nature, stay warm, and live his best life. He had a budget and a goal, and his bus was perfect for his needs, which is what this is really all about. Working our way into the event, we came across Lucky Bus. They had a wheelchair door in the same location as ours, and their bed was right there, giving them a great view out of it. They had several solar panels mounted to the roof, and a house door instead of a bus door. They had a super clean layout, and we loved the butcher block counter with the cutout for the sink that could be set back into it to make more counter space. Next up was the Keep It Simple bus, which had the nicest paint job that we saw all day and a huge awning that had us feeling some kind of way. The inside was very clean, and they had a really interesting epoxied plywood kitchen counter and managed to tuck in a toilet with beautiful wood walls and a tile floor that we really liked. The following bus was called Oregon Shortie, which was another bus with a simple layout, but they also had a metal deck on top with couches that the kids were allowed to climb up to and hang out on. Noah loved it. Inside was very eclectic, and we loved the salvage dresser with the live edge slab on top. It was super cute and well done. After that was a bus that needs no introduction, the new build that Jax Austin has been working on. He was actually up on stage, so we didn't get a chance to talk to him, but it was surreal to actually see the putting green up there that I had just watched the video about last week. The bus looks just as good in person as it does on the build series, and we really liked the counters, the tiling in his bathroom, and the wood art that he had hanging over his bed. At this point, we took a break to get lunch, and I had a delicious 1-pound burrito while Jax talked on stage about his issues with his veggie oil system. We soon all finished our meals and headed back out to make our way through more buses. Next up was the Yeti Bus, a super interesting, shorter bus build with a couple of things you don't usually see on buses this size: a roof raise and a 4-inch lift to give it better clearance. Inside the bus was just as interesting, and I absolutely loved the rising sun art splashed across the roof slope in the front of the bus. This was the first bus that we saw a tiny wood stove in, and the art over his bed was also very cool. We also liked the door that opened up next to his table. Overall, it was a very cool build. Working our way around the event, the bus Buccaneers had a really sweet spot next to the creek. This is likely the oldest bus at the event, but it was a cool one. It had a very RV feel inside and even had a pop-out on the driver's side. The little table in the living room was cool, the kitchen looked very functional, and the bedroom was super cozy. After that was the One Wild Ride bus, which had a fixed back deck on the back that looked like it could hold a motorcycle. They had an open, airy layout, a nice bedroom in the back that held their kitty, and the kitty was already over the crowds and just stared at us from the shelf. Well played, kitty. Well played. Continuing along, we discovered the pups from Pups And Us Bus. They were hanging out in front of the bus, making friends with all the kids coming by. Up in the bus, they had made an epoxy countertop that looked really interesting and a cast iron pan sitting on their stove. Their bedroom looked incredibly inviting, and they had the first washer-dryer combo that we had seen at the bus fair. Next up was the Frugal RVer, a cute bus about the same size as ours with several solar panels. We loved the patchwork panel above their bed, the chunky bathtub faucet that they had in their kitchen sink, and the sliding panels they had built to cover the fronts of their cabinets. After that, we found the Deliberate Life bus, which has one of the highest roof raises we have ever seen. This led to it also being the most open feeling of all the buses we looked at. They also had a tiny wood stove, and I loved the pattern on their pallet walls. Their elegant and adjustable solution for curtains is something that we may look at copying. It was really well done. We then meandered over to the Soulful Bus Life, which ended up being one of our favorite buses. We absolutely loved what they did with their cabinet fronts. Using rabbit panels and fabric looked great. Speaking of rabbits, they actually travel with 2 of them and have their hutches built into the cabinets. They also have a super cozy bedroom with a ton of books, and overall, just a really nice bus. Up next was Degenerbus, a cute little eclectic bus with some interesting details. From the stamped ceiling panels to the bedroom, to the skylight she replaced an escape hatch with, she has very much made this space a reflection of herself. She has one of the cubic mini cubs and loves it, and she also has an old theater seat as a jump seat in the front that was something we had never seen before. Continuing on, and we came across the Paging Adventure Bus, which is the first bus we have seen that had a tow dolly for their toad. They had several cute art details, including a hamsa and their desk. As with most of the buses with a roof raise, it felt very open. We then hit up the Skoolie Love bus, which may have been the only Amtran bus that we saw that day. We loved their adventure wall, the stairwell bookshelf, and Noah enjoyed reading his book on their couch. The Dreamcatcher bus had one of the coolest garages at the bus fair. It had several skateboards and his tools, and was just really well done. We also liked the pallet wall in the bedroom, and the wall-mounted stove was a very nice touch. After that was the Off Grid Skoolie. He is also pretty well known, and as such, the bus was packed, but we did manage to get a couple of pics of the inside. It was interesting to be able to see the exposed spray foam insulation in the ceiling, and his bus is one of the few at the bus fair that was not completed. Although really, is any Skoolie ever completed? The Road School of Life bus had some neat line art on the outside that we really liked. Inside the bus, they have a beautiful barnwood ceiling, and we also liked the bunks they had built for their kids. The live edge counters were also a really nice touch, and they were some super cool folks to talk to. Moving along brought us to the Broccoli bus. It was another bus with a large roof raise, and interestingly, used Nissan Leaf modules for their batteries, and had a dual-headed mini-split tucked into the garage compartment that was keeping the bus nice and cool. Next up was the Heymoon Club. They had by far the coolest bed setup for their kids of anything we saw at the bus fair. They also had a hanging chair that was NOAA approved and were extremely forthcoming about the mistakes they had made during their time on the road. The last bus we checked out was the Cognation School Bus. They had a bit of a boat feel on the inside of the bus and had Lindsay's favorite thing, exposed copper piping for the sink. They also had a hanging chair that Noah had a chance to check out. That was our experience touring the Bus Fair 2019. It was entirely positive. Everyone from the folks at the front desk, to the people that were kind enough to show their schoolies all day long, to most of the folks in the crowd, everyone was kind and patient. We met some amazing folks at the campsite, people living in their buses full time that weren't even at the show but still opened their homes to us. If they do this again next year, we will definitely be going again, and with any kind of luck, we may be able to take our schoolie and open it up as these kind souls did for us. If this is your first time here visiting Soul the Sun Chaser, it would be wonderful to have you subscribe. This channel is all about our schoolie journey, the good, the bad, and everything in between. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and check out our Patreon page or merch store to support the channel directly. Until next time, keep seeking adventure, chasing the sun.